Hello designers, welcome to this video. This is a beginner friendly tutorial on how to create a simple basic website like this one on your screen, right? So this is just a basic website showing you the basic components or features that are supposed to be in a website for beginners. Don't forget, this is beginner friendly tutorial. So without wasting time, let's get into the process. So first of all, I'm going to go to a new file. So right here, I'm going to attach this uh, file to in the description of this video. And yeah, this is what we are going to be creating. I'm going to come here. So we have two pages. If you have not watched my previous video about how to create pages, how to create components, how to create frames, grouping, auto layout, please do well to check them out. Watch that video before proceeding to this one, because it will give you better understanding of what we are going to be doing. So let's go into this video. So this is the website we want to create here. Want to design, sorry. So this is the website I want to design. I've used this website to label the basic structure of a website. So for a website, we have the header section, which is usually the top part of a website. You see, usually at the top. So on the header, we usually have the navigation bar, which is basically all this stuffs here. This text here are the text in the navigation bar, and they are called navigation links. All these text here are called navigation, they are called links in the navigation section. So let me not bore you too much. This header here, this top part is called the header, and then the next one, which is this section here, from here to here, is called the hero section. You can see that. So we have the hero section here. Next, we have after the hero section, we have the features section. Now, the hero section is just that part that sells the whole idea of the website to the viewers or the customers. So you can see the hero section have what is called the hero text. Save smarter, grow your. Okay, there's supposed to be money here. Save smarter, grow your money. Right away. Okay, sorry. Okay. All right, so there's supposed to be Control C, Control V. Okay, that's not coming up. All right, so let me just. There's supposed to be Y here. Okay, it's not showing Y. Okay, there's supposed to be Y here. It's not coming up, but we'll fix that later. Okay, so this is like the hero section. So what this hero section does, like I said, after reading Save Smarter, Grow Your Money, it tells you already what. Let me open this. Okay, all right, you can see that was hidden. That's why it's not showing up. So this already tells you that this website has to do with saving money and stuff like that. This is what the hero section. Now the hero section usually has like a call to action, which is called CTA. You can see there are usually two call to action. The call to action usually appear at the hero section and also at sometimes at the header. So next is the after the hero section, we have the features section. Right, we have the feature section. Now this feature section is where you talk about what qualities or features the app has. There are different ways to represent your feature section. For example, you see for this one now, I talked about the features you enjoy from using this website. We have it is bank level encryption, secure transaction, smart saving. I just add this scattered about, right? Just a basic website. And then after the feature section, you can see we have our feature section here. Let me change this to FFF. Right, all right. So we have our feature section here. From here, ranging from here to here, I think covers from here, covers from this top down to this point. And the next section we have is the review section. Now the review section is where you talk about, where you insert people that have used this website and what they're saying about the website. So this is just a basic representation of a simple basic website for beginners in a way that they will basically understand the whole thing. So next is the CTA section. CTA section. So where you tell them to okay, now you have read about the hero section. The CTA simply stands for call to action. CTA is call to action. So for this CTA, it usually summarizes what you need to do at the end of the whole thing. The hero section tells you about this stuff, like what you should expect. The feature section tell you what the thing does, the features of it. Then we have the what next, the feature section, the review section, what other people are saying, people that have used it, what they are saying about it. And then we have the CTA, which now tells you, okay, take action. What you want them to do is what you put in the CTA section. So this is the CTA section. And then lastly, we have the footer. So the footer is just basically, this is a basic footer. Like I said, this is a basic website. For the footer, we can have something like this as a footer. This is where you just add the company's logo, the company's name. All right reserve basically comes up in this section. This one here, all right reserve. Then the website, the social handles, other legal things that needs to be added. If I let me open a basic website that has all of this feature. I don't know. Let me try to search for a basic website. Let's go to Webflow and see. Let's search. Let's say Webflow. Webflow. Let's just go to any website and see. Acceptor Webflow. All right, so for example, this is a live website. You can see on top here we have the nav bar or the header. Now on the header we have the logo of the website, we have the nav links, like all this text I told you, we have the CTA, the call to action button here, and then we have the hero section text here, and we also have another call to action button on this side. Then we have the feature section, design it your way. Look at all the things this app does. Look at ship fast. Look at all the features here. After the feature section, what do we have next? I think we have the testimonial section, if there is. Now all of that are not always in all websites, but they are the basic thing in majorly every website. You must find all of this. So at the end of the day, they have the CTA. Look at, we have the CTA section here, what they want you to do. Get started, it's free, or talk to sales. Then at the end of the day, there is the footer section. This is the footer. Now this is not a common footer section, like this is not a basic footer section. See all they have in their footer. Footer section can be very long depending on the website. Let's check another website if we can find something smaller. Let's go to PayPal website. Let's see what PayPal has in their website. Let's see how the footer of PayPal website is. So this is just to show you how some website. Okay, this one, let's see the footer. But okay, look at this one. This is their footer. Very basic compared to this one. Compared to this. Oh, I didn't open that. I should have opened it down. Which other website should I go to? Let's go to let's try Amazon. Oh, let's try Amazon to see how their own footer is like. Even on Google, there is also a footer, right? Let's see Google footer. Let's try Google, just your normal Google search. While that is opening, let's see Amazon. Okay, this is Google. Look at Google footer. You can see there is nothing deep here, just a basic footer about how to search, their privacy, and all. So there's no one simple way to design all of this, just that there is a basic to follow. There is like you look at this one now, see the footer is quite bigger than what we have here, and compared to what we have here, and like that of Webflow. So that is how they all work. There are usually different ways to represent a footer, but then it has to be there. You need to have, if you look at all websites, there is always an header section, there is the CTA section, there is the footer section, and the header section. So let's dive right into designing our website. Now I'm going to come up to, you know how to do it already. Make sure you watch our previous video. So let's go to page 1, which is where we are designing. This page is just the stuff there. So now the first thing to do when you want to design is to drag out a frame, right? You need a frame. So I'm going to hit F on my keyboard, F, and look at the right hand side. You will notice, okay, what's up? Okay, hit F on your keyboard. Now you look at the right hand side, you see those things will pop up, right? Now I'm going to, because I'm designing for desktop, I'm going to choose desktop, right? You see that? So I'm going to drag it. I like to use 1440, and that is the right frame for desktop, 1440. And the next thing you need to do is to bring out what is called layer guide. So come here, I'll come to the right hand panel, click on this plus sign, and then you have this. Now we are going to be using column grid. Click on column, and first, while we want to design, I want you to come back to this place. We are designing these things basic, step by step. So looking at this full website, where is the first part? This is going to design step by step. Where is the first part of this website that will start with? It is the header. So we are going to start with the header section. So I'll come back here, and then I will make this count. So I'm going to make this the count here. Look at, there is a count, there is color, there is type. So I don't want to bore you with every feature here. I'm just going to leave every other thing but fix what I want to fix right here. So I'm going to like choose 16. Always for desktop I like to use 16. Notice how that changed. Let's say I want to use 12 now. You see, but we are going to be using 16. And then leave this one to stretch, and then come back to this margin. Because I want to design the header first, I'm going to leave it at 120. Just use this for now. Let's leave it at 120. Then for the whole height, I would like to leave this height to 80. These days, if you notice, website design is following trend. If you notice other websites, what they do is the headers of the look at the header here. The header are usually not as big as it used to be before. Look at this. Is, I think this should be around, I used 80 or 90 here. If you come back to our other reference websites, come back to website, come to this place, let's see the footer they are using. Look at this, is quite bigger than what I used. Let's see, this is quite smaller than this. You see, so people are tending towards a bit bigger nav bar these days, header these days. But then depend on what you want to use. There's nothing is written on stone here. Just feel free with your creativity. So I'm going to come here and make this height. I was talking about the height. If you don't, let's make it 90. See, but leave the width. Don't tamper with the width, only the height. So I'm going to drag that down here. All right, so I'll zoom in. All right, so now I want to have, these are the materials I'll be using for this design. So now I'll click on text here. If I want to write, I'll just click on T on my keyboard. It prompts me to write something. It's T on your keyboard. And if you don't want to use T, you can come here and press the T, and then you have the plus sign to write. So we want to write KPM, right? KPM, which is like here for your nav header, there is usually the logo and the name of the brand on the left hand side of the header. Let's see an example. Look at it, logo here. Come here to logo. So if your logo is just a name, you can use the name. So I'm going to go back here, and then KPM. So which font are we using? I'm using Poppins. Simple font. And all right, so for the weight is going to be semi bold. Yes. And for the size is going to be 24. 24. All right, so we are going to check if 24 is fine. Let's see. Yes. Okay, let's zoom in a bit and see. Okay, So then I will come to I need to change the color. So I already have my colors that I'll be using for this selected here. Look at them. Look at the colors. So now since I've highlighted it, I'll just come to this drop icon, click on it, and then click on it like this, and then it changes the color, right? It changes the color. That's how we use color picker. So then I will align it to this. You see, it touches the line. Sometimes it doesn't really touch the line the way you want, but then you can just zoom in very well so that you see that it touches the line how it should. Yes, all right. Yes, yes. So the next thing is to add, after we have the logo here, this is our logo. The next thing is to add the nav links, which are all these things here. These are, remember what I told you the nav links are. These are the nav links, all this text. So I'm going to come back here, and while on this I'll click on T. Right now I'll add my nav links. The first one is about, right? Should it be the first one? Let me see, what's the first one again? About, features, and okay, the first one is about, and that seems to be too big for a nav link. So I will come here and make it, besides I don't want to make it Poppins, I want to make it Inter. That's the font I want to use, and I want it to be regular, medium. Let's make it medium. Is that fine? Yeah, medium is fine. And then I don't want it to be 24. 24 is too big. Let's reduce it because it's not something that has to be too uh, obvious in the website. So let's make it will be obvious then because it's at the top. Okay, why we change that to 16? It looks too small at the same time. Let's make it, let's leave it at medium. Let's see. That's how you design. You don't just, there's no one size. You have to experiment and see what works. Now we have this, and there are three others. There are three of it. So before we go further, do we want the color to be black? Not really black. I have these are the colors I want to use. So I have a shade of black here that I would like to be the color of this. But let's see. Okay, let's leave it at black. Let's leave it as black. Let's leave this one as black. We'll come back to it. So let's, while this one, let's shift A to add auto layout. Shift A. Notice what that changes at the right and left hand panel of the stuff. So if I Control Z, I remove the website. Notice if you shift A, I add the auto layout. If you click on this drop down, you find out that you have the about inside the frame. That's what auto layout does. It adds your content inside the frame. So I'll click on the content inside the frame, and then I will duplicate it by clicking on Control D or Command D if you are using a Mac. So I need 3 of this content, so I'll still duplicate it again. So we have 3 of it. So for this one is about features. This one is features. Then what's the next one? Contact. Next one is contact. All right, so but I don't want everything to be the same size. Okay, let's leave it like this. Then let's click on the full frame. That means this one frame here, let's rename the frame to nav link. You see, inside this nav link we have 3 stuff, so let's make it nav link. And then now for the, click on it, for this whenever you design, make sure to zoom out to see what you have, right? Let's see. Okay, that's fine. We want it to be at the center, so we'll come here, center. For the gap, they are too close together. I don't want to fix a particular gap. Like to make it auto. Click on this, drop down, make it auto. Then if you expand it, the gap will expand proportionately. So let's put it at the center, and this is fine. So the next thing is to add the button here. So click on this frame again, click on your text, click here. So the button will be get started, right? Get started. So for this get started, you make sure if you want to work with it, you make sure you highlight everything. You can double tap on it or click on Ctrl A to just highlight everything inside the text box, all the text inside the box. So this one I want it, should I say, let's leave it as 16 semi bold. Let's see if it will not be too much. And let's add an auto layer because it's going to be a button. Shift and A to add auto layout. You see, get started inside auto layout. So now the difference between this auto layout and this is that for this one now we're going to be adding a fill color. So come to this right hand panel, click on this plus, you add a fill. Now what fill color do we want to have? This is the color already. This is it. Click on this drop down menu, this drop down icon, and you have your color. Sorry, that's not drop down icon, this dropper icon here. So we have this, you see, so we have a color here. So I'll double tap on it. This is the frame. I'll call it button. I'll call it nav button. Nav button. So then I'll click on the inside text. I'll change the color again. Let's make it white. FF. That's the color code for white. F into 5. So we have that. And then let's click on the main frame, which is the nav button. Let's change let's give it a padding, and let's give it a padding. The horizontal padding, let's make that 24. This padding here, let's make it 12. If you notice why I'm using those figures, you can use and experiment whatever value you want. Let's say if I make it 32, that looks a bit too big. Let's see now, to see if what you're doing is looking good, I would like to align this to the end. Let me just do that now. Drag it to this. Okay, click on it and drag it to the end. Oh, sorry. Drag it to the end. Once it gets to the end, it will snap. You see that red stuff there? Now it's at the end. Let's keep it like this. Sorry, let's have it like this. Okay, now it's at the end. Then what you need to do is make sure you put it, let it be properly centralized. Now let's see how that looks. Click on the header again. Come down here, off the layout guide. Let's see. Does this make sense? Does this look good? Gradually, but something needs to be done. We don't like sharp edges like this. Doesn't we're not going to be using a sharp edge like this. Let's click on it and then change the radius to, come to radius here. Let's make it 24. If you notice, I'm using values that are divisible by 2 or 4. I'm not using 17, I'm not using 21, I'm not using 13, like that. So when you're using your values, use values that are divisible by 4 or 2. So we have this and it's looking good already. But I think I need to make this a bit bigger. Come here, instead of 16, let's say 24, and let's see how that goes. Oh, that's too big. Let's make it 18. Okay, this makes sense. This is okay. And instead of inter, I like my buttons. Let's use pop-ins. Pop-ins, and this is even better. So you see how we experiment. Now what I did is I want to be using pop-in. I'm going to be using only 2 fonts, pop-in and inter. Pop-in for bigger stuff, what I want, things that I want to be bigger, while inter for things that I want to be just there, not really big. That's my 2 fonts. So don't use more than 2 fonts. If possible, even use 1 as a beginner. So we have this like this. I'm going to turn on my layout guide again, which is going to guide me through how to arrange it. So you see all of this here. I'll click on them, click on this, add it to auto layout, Shift A. Notice how I pack everything inside a frame. So what I will now do is to name this frame nav bar. So you see we have our header. Inside the header we have our nav bar. Inside the nav bar we have our nav links, we have our buttons, we have our logo. So now you see something has happened. It has scattered from this point. So it's not an issue. I can just click on it, drag it. Okay. So what I need to do is, if you haven't watched my video on auto layout, please make sure to watch that. If not, you will not be able to understand what is happening here. Let's click on this to be filled. Let's come here. Sometimes auto layouts can mess with let's content. Let's drag that to okay, it's not entering. Okay. Let's come to sometimes this can be a challenge if you now it won't work this way. Let's make it all content. Let's drag this in and okay, we have that. So it has snapped to grid now, right? So if you don't want to stress yourself, don't even add it into auto layout. Sometimes it can be a bit frustrating. So we have this, and then I'm going to centralize it, and this is fine like this. Oh, sorry, Ctrl Z. All right, so we have this now as our header. Let's come back here and let's turn off the layout guide. Yes, this is looking good, right? It's looking good. So the next thing we need to design is the hero section, which is this particular section that sells the website, this part. Right now, let's move on to let's go. Now we need to add a frame. Come here, go to desktop, go to select a screen frame, drag it here. At this point, remember we are designing bit by bit. We want to design each of the section and bring them together. So we need to add whatever you want to design. First thing, you need to have your layout guide. So I'm going to add my layout guide added to this frame. Sorry, I made mistake. This is the layout guide. Click on it. Then first thing, you want the column, then the count. Okay, so this is going to be 16 as usual, and then for the margin we are going to use one. Oh, I made a mistake, sorry. We are going to use 120 here. All right, so then if you look at, if we use 120 here and we're using 120 here, that means they are both going to be the same, and that is not how major website functions. That's not how most website functions. Let's come to this place and you will see what I'm trying to say. If you look at Amazon website, notice the header, the size in here between here and the width is less compared to the content, which is the body design, to the look at here. There are more space between here to the end and than between here to the end. So we have to design our website to also fit that style. If you come to this too, I think the common style is having your website. The common style is having your website in this form. If we come to, come back to our web design. If you notice, look at for this our own KPM design too. There should be a bit space between the nav bar. The nav bar needs to have more space towards the end, needs to have less space towards the end than the body. Let me show you how that works. So for here we have to come back to the header, come back to and change this to 80 instead of 120, the margin to 80 instead of 120, and that way we have more space. And since we have more space, I'll just click on this and try to fill it to the end, zoom it in to match this. Now notice as I'm filling it, it's not responding properly. So what do? Click on it like that, then come to this gap, change it to auto, and notice that if I drag it, it works perfectly. Drag it and then it works perfectly, and then we are still in order, right? This is, so make sure that your header for this design, at least as you are learning, use this pattern for your header. The layout guide should be margin of 680 and a count of 16. So come back here, that way you'll be able to achieve this feature here. So let's go back to this. Let's name this on our hero section, because that's what we want to do here, hero section. And then On the euro section, let's come back to the count, and this 120, and so we are good to go. Now I already have my text, so if you don't have your text, you can just, let's come here, let's write the text for the sake of those that, for the sake of you guys that want to learn how the whole thing works. So I'll just come to this container here, euro section, click on text right here and say, what do you want to write? Save smarter, full stop. And then I will come to this place and grow your money with confidence. All right, full stop. So now the font I use for this one here, I'll select everything. The font I use there is Poppins, right? And for the width, let's experiment which width will go well. Let's see. Semi-bold is fine. And for the line height, one of the formula I use for my line height is, let's see, for here I use font size of 72. Let's see for this 72. Okay, Ctrl A, select everything. Let's make that instead of 72, let's make it 60. Okay, that's too small. Let's make it 70, and this is fine. 70 is fine. So let's drag it here. Now I want it from up to down. I want it from up to down to be, I want a space of 100. Perfect. Now how did I do this? If you want to know the space, you have to click on what you are moving, which is this my object here, and come up here, hold the Alt button, hold the Alt. If you hold the Alt button, you notice if I come to this place, I hold the Alt button, I'll be able to see the distance between what I am holding and what I am tapping on. So if, for example, I have an icon here, let's drag something inside this box, and I look at, I have this box here, and I hold the Alt button, and I come to this place. The distance between this box and this is 174. If I move it further, it's 385. You know, see that? So I'm going to delete it. So let's come back to this. Now, if you notice there are different color, the save has different color, this has different color, and I'm going to do that now. Let's come. You have to bring your icon, your cursor here, highlight from here to here, and then change the color. Under this field, click on it. This is the green we have been using. It's already saved there. So we are good to go like this. Now for the line height, I think I used to use 1.2 times my size, text size, which is 70. So 1.2 times 70 is, I don't know. If you punch your calculator, you have something close to 100. So I would like to keep this line height at 87, which is fine. So what they did here is minus 1.8k. So I'm going to leave this line height like this. Should, in case your line height is squeezed, let me duplicate this and show you something. So let's come to this line height. Let's use a line height of 100, for example, which look too spacious. Let's use a line height of 80, for example. See? So you can experiment. At some point, I even feel like this is even much better. So let me use this one and see. But I like more space. Got to let's see. This is 87. This is okay. Space, more space is better. I prefer this. Gives it more space. All right. So the space between here and here should be 100. Click on it. Then use your arrow up and down to move it till you have like 100. Okay, 100 is fine. And now we have to snap it to this end. Zoom in to all the. Okay, we have it. Okay, you see it's showing red already. Okay, sometimes zoom in properly to be able to get that. All right, we have that. So are we still in the 100? It has shifted. Let's leave it at this 100 is not too small. Okay, by the time let's make it 120 or 110 or so. Let's 110. Yes. Now the next thing is to bring out this our. Now for this, don't worry about this. It's a long process to make this. So you can just put in. Can just use what I will give. It's in the paste it. It's in the description of this video. You can find this icon. This is a mock-up. It takes a long time to make, so I'm not going to bother you to make it right now. So let's just attach it somewhere here. You can add a picture or just be creative to add anything you want to add. So put it to fit in how you want. Now for this is a design, a mock-up design. It doesn't have to follow the line anymore. You can put it anyhow. So if I want, I can even expand this, put it like this. Okay, Ctrl Z. Let me click on it, go to scale by hitting K, and then I can scale it up a bit. Let's see. All right, so I don't have to, it doesn't have to match the line. Just put it as decoration. So whatever you're adding as decoration doesn't have to properly fit in. Now for the body text, I might have to copy that into this place because it's a long body text. So let's just come here. There is a plugin we can use to actually do that. Let's add our T. Let's come to text. So for the text, I don't want to. Let me just copy the text from this one here. Yes, this is the text. Let's copy it. Ctrl C. Go back to page 2. And then we are going to have our text here. Ctrl V. Now for the text here, I'm going to align it here. And then I would like to have a gap of, let's make it a gap of 16. I see 16 is fine. Yes, 16 is fine. I see. No, there is still an extra. Yes, 16 is fine. It's in here to here is 16, and that's fine. And now for the color, I'm using interfont. Font size is 18. Now what about the color? Notice that I'm not using pure black. I'm using a shade of black. Look at it. I've picked this color before. Look at this is the color here. So most times I don't like to use pure black for my design. I use shade of black. Look at this is pure black at this point. Look at it. And that will be too shouty if you use pure black. Let me show you. Come here, come to layout guide, take it out, and notice how it's too bright. It's too bright, so I will not use that. Let's come back to this. Come to this color. This is the color here. Select it, Ctrl C to copy it. Come here, and then let's add that. You don't want your stuff to be this is the color. This is the color code here, and then we have this. You see, it's a bit much pleasing to the eyes than the previous one that is too dark. And then let's turn back our layout guide. Yes, we are good to go. And the next thing is to create our buttons, which is the primary and the secondary buttons. These are the buttons for the hero sections, primary and secondary button. So I'm going to come back to tutorial, and then the first button says get started. Let's create that. Let's come to T. If I want, I already have a button up there, so I'll just drag the button from there. Look at, I have a button here already. Select the button. I'll use the Alt key, hold the Alt and drag. See, I have a button here, then you drop it here. Or another way is you can copy and paste it here. So I'll just drag it and keep it here like this. The only difference is I might change some things. Get started. Control C. Okay, it's on the hero section. Let's be sure. Yes, this is on the hero section. All right. So now we have the get started. I might want to increase this a bit. Instead of 18, I might want to say 24 because yes, Why is it not responding? Control Z. Now, because this is auto layout, I expected it to respond to change in width. So, yes. Let me see. Something is wrong with that auto layout. Control Z, Control Z. All right, let's do this. Okay. All right. So why that is not responding? I think I'll just add this to all content, and then let's change the font size to 24 this time around, and notice how that responded. Control Z. Now the reason why it was not responding was because the overall container is set to fixed. Please watch my video on auto layout. Let's see if that even works. Let's turn this off and see if 18 is okay. I think 18 is better. No need to increase it. It's fine like this. So I'll select this for the next button, which is what does the next button say? The next one is learn more. Okay, let's change that to, notice how the button is responding because we change it to all content learn more. Now it's on learn more. Now we will change the color of this to, we already have the color here. Click on this fill, click on this drop icon, color dropper. Then what's the color of that one? Let's see this color. Let's see what we have. Okay, is it gray, right? It's gray. Okay, let me just drag it somewhere around. Okay, let's just see. Okay, I have to turn off this layout guide to see what I'm doing properly. Okay, yes. All right, gray. Okay, this is too grayish, but let's come here. I didn't save the color. Listen for that one. I think this is fine. This is fine. So what I'll need to do next is select this one and add it into auto layout, shift A. And now for the gap, that gap. Okay, why this is not responding? I wanted to shift it in, but it's not responding. So what you need to do is to come to this gap here and make it auto. And notice how it responds properly now. So I can just put this like this, and then bring out my layout guide. Turn on the layout guide, and then I'll add every other thing here to auto layout. Since this is okay, I'll select this. Remember now, okay, now these two I need to put them into auto layout, this and this, so that my work will be neater. Select this heading and this description text, shift A, you add them into auto layout. So what do we call them? Find a name to call them. I'll just call it header and description. All right. Then the next thing, I don't want to add the three of them together. Add related things together step by step. Remember, see how we are building everything step by step. That's how you work to make your work easier to understand. So I'm going to select that and this and add it into auto layout again, shift A. Notice we have header and description and frame 2. So this frame 2 is CTA, Euro, CTA, right? Select that. So we have this frame. Now I'm going to call it header plus hero CTA, right? So we have this. Now for this, I want the gap. Remember the gap here is 16. If we double tap on it, let's come. If you double tap, come here, click here, come to header plus description. The gap is 16. But if you come to the full header plus hero CTA, the gap is 27, which I told you don't use anything that is not divisible by 2 or 4. So I want the gap to be 24. Let's make it 32. Double what we have up there. And let's see. Yes, this is okay. This is okay. So let's see if compared to what we have here. Okay. All right. So, but then I might want to still change the padding of this from 12 to 16. Let's see how that goes. 16. Likewise, I'll change it in this one too. 16 to make it okay. Yes, I think this is fine. Yes, this is fine. No, leave it like that. So I'd like it to expand to this point, and this is fine. So the next thing is to add this thing here, this proof here. So I'll just come here. I already have it. So what I need to do is to just copy it and just add it. I think I have it somewhere here, but if I don't, we have to create it. Okay, it's not here. So what we need to write is, what does it say? It says 12,000 plus trusted across Africa. So just come here, add a T, 12,000 plus. What is it? Okay. Okay, 12 comma thousand plus, right? Control A. So for the font size, let's make it a bit big. 24. For the width, medium is fine. For the something we want to be obvious, right? So let's leave it like that. 12,000 plus. All right. So what about for the color? Control A. For the color, remember what color did they use there? Okay, our brand color, which is our primary color. Select that. Okay, so it has a text under it that says trusted users across Africa. So we have to add another text. So you come down here, bring your plus again, add another text. It says trusted across Africa, right? Okay. Trusted across, sorry, Africa. So country A. Let's just, because it's not something too big, let's make it 16. Yes, that's fine. For the font, let's make it regular. Let's make it inter. For things that I don't want to be too obvious, I use inter for them. Don't forget, for consistency, keep that in mind. So we're going to select this and this, Shift A to put it into auto layout. For the gap, let's make it with 16. Let's make it 16. 16 will not be too much. It's too much. Let's make it 8, and that's fine. 8 is fine. So now, even though we are still using the font size Ctrl A, now we have to change the color also. For the color, don't forget we are using this color for whatever we don't want to be too obvious. So come back to this color, Ctrl C. I've copied the color, Ctrl A for highlight everything. Come here, paste that color, Ctrl V, and then we pasted the color. We have this. So if you turn off the grid, turn off your grid, and see that's come out. That's looking great already, right? Now we need to create the second one, which is this 50 million plus. So no need for me to go. I'll just come here and say 12k. I'll just leave it like that. That's what I'll use to remember it. So I need to create the second one. I'll just, since they're the same pattern, I'll just duplicate this, holding Alt and drag. Then I'll edit the first stop. All right, 50 m plus. All right, so we have that. See how easy it is to now create. So what does it write? What does it say in the description text? Let's come to the description text. It says saved and growing daily. All right, I'm going to say saved and growing daily. All right, so notice how that breaks down. So we don't want it to break, we'll just expand it. and then expand this frame to fill in. So yeah, we have this, and put the both of them into auto layout, shift A. So everything, then we want to center our line and turn on your grid again. What's the gap between them? 109. We want 100. That's okay. So come here. Now turn on your grid. Let's arrange that. Turn on grid. Yes, I think it's already okay. It's not, so you just drag it to fit. Yes, and at this point we can add this to this frame. Now select this and add it to this frame, shift A. And what should be the gap? If you click on this, let's make that gap 32 for consistency. 32. Since we use 32 for this one, let's keep 32 for this one too, and then we have 32. All right, you see how that's played out. So if I click on this and turn off the grid now, it's looking good gradually. So the next thing is to add this floating stuff here. This is also a step that I've already made, and I'm going to make a separate video for how I made it to be rotating like this. So let's come back to this place. Let me show you how to make this stuff here. So I'm going to come here, okay, let's just drag one out like this. Right, so let's say it's very simple. What I did was to go to Chrome and download all the logos. Come to Google here. Let's say the first one, I'll say OP logo. Enter it. Then you go to images. Now under images, you come to this more. Yeah, okay, you come to tools rather. Then you come to type. You come to color. Go to transparent, so that to show you those that are transparent. And then if you click on any of them now, they are transparent. Let's say if I click on this one now, you notice say this is transparent background. So any of them you try to download will be in transparent background. Look at, they'll all be in transparent background for you to use. That was how I was able to download all the logos. If I want Pampe, if I want OP, I'll just come here, change everything here, make it OP like that. That's how I was able to achieve all of that logo. So when I got all the logo, let's say for example this one, let me drag this one down. Sorry, delete. Let me just select one logo inside. Let me dismantle this logo. We have one. Then we have two. Okay. Then we have three. Let me zoom in. Sorry. Then we have all of this. So let's say we have all of these logos together. What I now did was to carry all the logos as they are like this. I turn them into auto layout. Just align all of them. Even if they are scattered, let's assume you have everything like this. You have them like this. So what you just need to do is select everything like this, including this one. Then you add Shift A. Notice how auto layout. Okay, auto layout also scattered everything. So I'll just widen it, and you see they're all aligned in the same way. So that's how you get everything like this. Then I was able to get them, arrange them separately, and then copy it. In this case, I'm going to cut this, Ctrl X. Sorry. Okay, let me detach this instance. Detach. I'll copy. Come to this frame. Ctrl V. Oh, sorry. Ctrl X. Ctrl V. Y. Alright, so I'm just going to drag it up. I don't know why it's going there. So that's it. So drop it at the middle. Like it at the middle. And then just find a reasonable gap between them. So let's say I'm going to make it 76. Let's say 78 is fine. Then it's at the middle. Okay, so yes, this is fine. This is fine. So I'll turn off this too. come to this, turn it off. Now we have this and this created. How do we make, let's finish with our hero and header section gradually, because this video is getting too long, so that I'll be able to make another video for the continuation. Let's click on this one now. I'll click on it. I will not just copy it, I will click on Ctrl X, then click on this, Ctrl V to paste it inside. Then I'll now come here and put it at the top. Come to this right hand panel, look at the top alignment, click on it, and notice how that aligns perfectly. Now for some reasons this doesn't make sense, so I need to put like a little demarcation. That's where shadow comes in. Let's zoom in a bit, so that there will be some little difference between your header and the body section. So let's click on this, and then let's come to effects, click on plus, then look at drop shadow, right? So I'm going to put a drop shadow. Let's just look for something minimal. You see, now I'm just going to make that very small, and let's make that around 8%. Nothing too noisy. Okay, even 8 seems to be too much. Let's make it 5. Okay, so let's disperse, just play around this. Now for the spread, okay, for the blur, just a bit. Yes, I like it to be very blur. Yes, something subtle. Now for the color, I would like to use this primary color. Oh, that's too much. Okay, let's make it 8. Or let's say 10. You don't want to make it too much. Yes, I think this is fine like this. So let's see what we got. Yes, you notice from this you can see that there's a little bit contrast between the header and this. And if you also want, you can also change the color of this. Now this is at the point where you can now reduce the height of this one. If I try to reduce the height, notice, okay, now I have this height, I can reduce it up to this point, 99, which is telling me that it's okay between up and down, but that's not what I want. I can still reduce it a bit to something like this, depending on how you want it. And then that way we just successfully created. Okay, let's reduce that a bit, let's increase it, click on it. Okay, so we have, yes, we have this like this. Let's drag this down a bit. Okay, fine. About this, let's also shift this. If you want to hold two things, click on one and hold shift, and then you can drag both of them together. Let's see the gap between here. That's 24, it's too small. Let's make it 32, even 38. Yes, you just have to look for what balances, what's okay for you. I like it to be divisible. Whatever I'm doing should be divisible by 4 or 2. All right, so this way, let's preview this. Let's click on this, come to preview, and this way we just successfully created the first part of the website. So in order not to make this video to be too long, we are going to stop at this point for this one, and then in the next section we are going to create the next one. So we have this, we have everything like this, and in the next video I'm going to show you how to add the other section and design the other sections. So if you're enjoying this video, make sure to like and subscribe, and come back for the next video, which is dropping immediately after this one. All right, see you in the next video.